Yeah, I mean, big time college basketball game. North Texas. Coach Robinson's done an excellent job his first year. They play hard, they're physical, they get after you defensively, they turn you over. But credit to our guys. I mean, we offensively had a sensational night shooting the ball and making plays. Coach Johnson's scout, I thought he prepared us unbelievably well on how we needed to attack them and how we needed to try and defend them. And it's always a game of chess when you're playing basketball. And Coach Robinson's doing his thing, and I'm doing our thing, and as a staff, we're all doing our things, and the players are going to do their thing. And proud of the guys. It was a really good competitive game. We get down 10, and guys find a way to fight back, and then big fella here makes 2 big free throws, which I was saying at practice all the time. At some point this year, you're going to be asked to make some big free throws, and it's happened a few times this year with our group, and guys have stepped up and knocked them down.
Questions?
I'll just start with Anton. I mean, you go to the line, you need both of them to make it. I mean, just what's going through your head? Obviously, the timeout was called, and I'm sure the coaching staff was calming you down, but then they call the timeout to try to ice you. Just walk me through what you do, stepping up to the line, just trying to focus in on the back of the rim.
Nothing special. Just, I mean, I was nervous if that's what you're asking, but nah, just I had to make him, so there was really no choice.
Yeah, I mean, I'll comment on that too. Like, obviously it's been talked about a lot. He hasn't played a lot of basketball. But again, I think he can lean back on past experiences, which we do talk about. At ECU, he was in a very similar situation where he had to make 2 big free throws and did the same thing, and then tonight did the same thing. It's just, it's awesome to be in that moment for his growth. Not a lot of players get to be in those moments, and he's had a couple of them, and he'll grow from that.
And like to add on to that, I mean, I made the free throws, but we were down 10 when I left the game, and I want to credit that group who came in. They really brought us back. They gave us fuel. Yarna, whoever was on the floor, when I subbed out, they really brought us fire, and from there, it was really them who brought us back into the game. So I just want to give them credit.
Coach, I think at one point too, Mingo sprained an ankle and tried to play. I mean, what do you say about the heart of this team, rallying back from 10 down, stepping to the line? It seemed like everybody tonight was willing to take on a challenge and give whatever they could for the victory.
Yeah, it's a really good question. I mean, we're a very deep team, and it's been a challenge for some guys with the roles that they've had to play. But every team, you're asked to play different roles, and sometimes you're not 100% happy with it, but you've got to accept it and you've got to buy into it. And we had some guys tonight that had to play a lot more and had to step up and make plays, and you can see the energy with the group. The bench energy is big time. In the locker room before the game, halftime, after the game, there's really good energy, and there's this connection. I've been saying from day one, if we want to be a really good team, we've got to submit to each other and play for one another and achieve things together. And like Anton said, like he's out of the game, he takes a bit of a hit. That group goes in, gets us back into the game. That's team basketball. That's the beauty of being part of a team, is when you can do things like that.
Was Mingo? I know he tried. It seemed like he tried to play through it a little bit.
Yeah, he just looked a little gimpy, and I'm like, nah.
Came out, hit his first 2 shots.
Yeah. I think he knew he was coming out, so he's just getting them up. That's what I think. But
what Willis Reed?
Yeah. And he, made some plays, and so our medical staff's big time. We'll get him right, and when he's back, he's back. If he's not, we've got enough horses there to go make some plays.
Coach, you look like in the comeback when you went down 10, stayed committed to a zone defense that really shifted the tide, forced them into a lot of late shot clock situations. Just can you talk about the switch and maybe defensive game plan that kind of got them off rhythm?
I mean, we've been working on it a lot. You know, Robinson has, I don't think he's taken 3 in the last 3 games, and he goes 4 for 4, whatever he did. You know, so good for him. But they were just being able to, you know, get those shrink kick-out threes, and we just had to find a way to stop that. We didn't do a great job defending their baseline out of bounds. They scored a lot off that. I just think the zone stopped them from getting penetration to get those kickouts, and you know, you just have to be really good moving the ball and probing the gap. It's just a totally different type of feel when you're attacking the zone. I thought our guys were excellent with it. I thought they rebounded well out of it. You know, it keeps our big guys around the rim. You know, they also went and they downsized and they played really small. So it just enabled us to, you know, keep our big guys around the rim, and it, like you said, it turned the game. And you know, I always ask them feedback. Well, stay in it. You want to do this? You want to do that? Like, nah, we want to do this. You know, that's the same. I am no dictator, you know, and I always coach like that. I'll coach them hard, but you know, I do want them to have input, and you know, ultimately, the best teams are player-led driven teams, and it just takes time to grow to that. I think there's a bit of a trend going in our league. I think a lot more teams are playing zone now. You know, my honest opinion, I think, you know, because of the portal, I don't think you get to build your teams over a period of time where you just, you know, just concrete with what you do, and you're just trying to do different things to create disruption instead of just being really tough with what you do. You know, and the games, you know, just exploded from a knocking down threes type of deal, and you're just trying to mess with players' rhythm and trying to get players to think, and you know, I thought we were able to do that.
For Coach and for Anton, this whole season, there have been some highs, there have been some lows. As you're entering really the home stretch of the regular season, can a win like this be a springboard to allow you guys to, you know, get close to playing your best basketball as you get ready for the American tournament?
You know, like you said, he said the best teams are the player-led teams, so we're trying to grow into that, even though we haven't been together as long as, you know, ideally. But yeah, I think our energy is great. We came back to the locker room, danced, and that's what builds the relationships we have. So I think at the end of the day, that's what really wins basketball games, is us being a team.
Yeah, I think it does. I think it. We went through a 4-game patch there. We didn't play very well, and you know, I thought the second half at Tulsa, you know, probably a bit of a turning point for our group. If we had just rolled over and died right there, I think it would be a struggle to finish the year off. But the character of this team has always been on display from game one. We fight, man. I mean, we've been in so many games where we've been down and we fight back and we compete. And you know, I always challenge the guys. I don't ever question their competitive spirit, regardless of the score. And you know, we've been able to show that multiple times. And I thought we played very well against ECU. We played against an unbelievably good defensive team tonight, and I think we had our best offensive game of the year. You know, we're a good offensive team. We're hard to guard. You know, we've got bigs that put pressure on the rim. We've got point guard play. We've got great shooting around it. You know, if we can be really tough and defend, then, you know, see what happens here down the stretch.
I remember after the UTSA game, you said that you told the team that, you know, whenever you step on the court, you get what you deserve. How do you feel like that message was received by the team, and how do you feel like they responded after a pretty tough loss here at home not so long ago?
I 1000% believe in that. You get what you work for, you get what you deserve. We deserve that. We deserve this. You know, like this, how this works. You've got to be mentally right. You've got to be physically right. You know, emotionally, you've got to be right. You can't. Not one person in our huddle can be outside of the huddle mentally, emotionally, physically. Like you've got to be all in, and when we're all in, that's what makes great teams. And that goes back to what I said earlier. When you submit to each other, and you find unbelievable joy in seeing others succeed, and that's when you're great.
Slightly off topic, but I believe this is the first time we've had a chance to talk to you since the news of Kevin White's hire was made official. I'm just curious if you had a chance to talk to your new AD, or what your impressions are of what he's going to bring to this athletic department.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm sure he'll bring some unbelievably fresh ideas and vision for sure. I have spoken to him a couple of times. He messaged me today wishing us luck for the game. We'll get to meet him tomorrow, which is going to be awesome. I know Jesh is sitting back there. He did an unbelievable job in the interim. So a lot of credit to you, Jesh, with that. It was an easy job for you. We all appreciate what you did, and we'll continue to do around here and be part of this family for sure. It's such an unbelievable landscape that we're in, right? And as an athletic director in college athletics, do we really know what we're doing? I don't. I don't know what we can and can't do. So we're just trying to build this plane while it's flying. That's what it feels like. But yeah, it'd be awesome to get in here, get to work, and see if we can really grow this, this athletics program.
Good.
All right, guys, appreciate it.
Yeah.